Hello everyone, this is Gabe Nunwick with my presentation for MPA 545, Conflict Resolution for Professor Curtis's class. And this is the study about Landsberger's article. So what we learned about Landsberger in the textbook is basically that there are certain characteristics that mediators should have to be successful, basically. Some of the ones that he lists are an appropriate sense of humor. They should be able to act unobtrusively in the conflict. They should basically model persistence and patience while going through the mediation process. And they should have specific knowledge about the subject that they're mediating in. You don't want a mediator who doesn't know what is going on around them. So those are some of the characteristics that Landsberger talked about in the textbook. So from Landsberger's article, it basically goes into how they came up with that list of some of the characteristics. There's some other characteristics that they mentioned in the article. Things like they should have originality of ideas. They should feel like they're one of us in the sense of being informal. They should be respected. They should inspire respect from the parties who are involved in the mediation process. They should also act as like a salesperson to kind of put some pressure on the parties to get through the mediation process and get things resolved the way that they should be. And they should also have strong control over their feelings. So those are some of the other characteristics that he talked about in the article. But in the article, it also talks about how they came up with that list of some of the characteristics. So the characteristics that they came up with, they actually got from, they just basically asked mediators, mediation agencies, union officials, and lawyers what they thought were some of the characteristics that would make a good mediator. So you can already tell kind of where that's going. In Landsberger's article, they basically get to the point where they don't necessarily come up with concrete reasons. Like the goal that Landsberger wanted to have was a test, basically to give people, and if people performed a certain way on the test, they should be able to say this person would be a good mediator based on their test results. And they only tested 18 mediators in his study, so it's a very small group. You're not going to get a very definitive answer from a test like that. So one of the articles I found was written by Brockmeyer, and Brockmeyer basically said that basically you can't really know who's going to be effective or ineffective as a mediator and things like that, because the test results that specifically Landsberger used were biased. They're basically polling mediators and people who work with mediators, so they're not going to be kind of that outside looking in sense. It's kind of, I don't know, it would just be like asking a student what's a characteristic of a student. Well, the student's going to know, but if you ask somebody who's not a student or who never was a student, they might have a different answer. So the end of Landsberger's article basically says that they need more testing, more studies to figure out what some of the characteristics are, and if there's ways to figure out how you can make sure that those characteristics would actually match with good mediators. And Brockmeyer basically agrees with that idea that you need to have unbiased results to get good results. So here are the references, obviously Landsberger's article and Brockmeyer's article. So thanks for watching and have a great week, everyone.